YNW Melly could be getting bail if this is true. YNW Melly awaited murder trial is asking to be released from jail again. Jamel Dimmons, known as rapper YNW Melly, enters the courtroom for a question from the jury as they deliberate at the Broward County Courthouse in Fort Lauderdale on Saturday, July 22nd, 2023. Dimmons, 24 years old, is accused of killing two fellow rappers and conspiring to make it look like a drive-by shooting in October 2018. God dang. YNW Melly's new attorneys are trying to get the rapper out of jail pending his trial, citing the emergence of additional evidence not previously considered. In documents filed in court Wednesday evening, attorneys Kerry Halt and Drew Phelan argue Melly is entitled to an evidentiary hearing for bond due to a change in circumstances. The new evidence, Halt and Phelan, however, didn't detail what the evidence entailed. Broward Circuit Court Judge Martin Fine could schedule an Arthur hearing, which allows courts to consider setting bonds for defendants charged with crimes that aren't usually eligible for bail. As of Thursday, a hearing had not been set. Wednesday marked the rapper's fourth bid seeking to be released from jail. All previous requests were denied. Melly has been locked up in Broward since 2019. God dang. In recent years, he has had no contact with other inmates as well as no visitation or phone calls from family, the filing says. For almost a decade of his young adulthood, Mr. Dimmons has endured flagrantly restrictive, dehumanizing conditions in pretrial detention, the attorney said in the document. Melly, 26, whose real name is Jamel Dimmons, is accused of gunning down his childhood friends, Anthony Williams and Christopher Thomas Jr., in a drive-by cover-up after spending the night of October 26, 2018 at a Fort Lauderdale recording studio. Williams and Thomas, both aspiring rappers with the YNW Melly Collective, were known as YNW Sack Chaser and YNW Juvie, respectively. His trial for the double murder is set for 2027. The murder of my mind artist was also charged with witness tampering. Although those charges were ultimately dropped, Melly was accused of colluding with co-defendant Cortland Henry, aka YNW Borland, and fellow inmate Terrence Mathis to keep his ex-girlfriend from testifying in his double murder case. Last September, Henry reached a plea deal with prosecutors where they dropped the two murder charges against him. Henry, 26, was sentenced to 10 years in prison on charges of accessory after the fact and witness tampering. In the motion, the rapper's legal team also pointed out how the 4th District Court of Appeal agreed that the former judge in Melly's double murder case did not abuse his discretion when he threw out weeks of digital evidence obtained from a broad warrant. The evidence, mostly messages extracted from Melly's cell phone, email addresses, and social media accounts, will not be allowed in the rapper's retrial. After the appellate court's ruling in 2023, former Broward Circuit Court Judge John Murphy limited the digital evidence admitted into the retrial to the day of and following the murders. It's 5 day. Yes, the 5th day of the week, of course, and Friday. But it's 5 day because y'all see that QR code. Y'all know what to do, man. Tap that link in the description or hit that QR code. We're going to put $5 in your account just so you can play games to get paid. That's free cash, setting names, get paid on 5 day. Yes, sir. Number 2 app in the Apple Store, number 3 in the Google Play Store. For a reason, check the reviews before you do. That's free cash, setting names, 5 day. Let's go get to the content. Now, let's look at the actual court documents, the paperwork from the courts, and determine exactly what we may think it is, because they're playing a lot of cat and mouse here. And I'm going to be honest, I got a couple of theories that I think you all will agree with. Roll it. The court should exercise its discretion to release Mr. Dimmons pending trial. Even if this court finds that the state met its burden, Mr. Dimmons requests this court hold a hearing pursuant to Arthur and exercises its discretion to grant pretrial release in accordance to Florida statutes, as conditions of release can reasonably protect the community from risk of physical harm to pensions, assure the presence of the accused at trial, or assure the integrity of the judicial process. Like in Arthur, although the state's interest in securing Mr. Dimmons' presence at trial is extremely important, it does not outweigh the defendant's interest in retaining his liberty as to justify denying completely the opportunity to convince the court that release on bail is appropriate. Therefore, even if this court finds that proof is evident and the presumption is great, Mr. Dimmons may still come forward with a showing addressed to the court's discretion to grant or deny bail. In this case, Mr. Dimmons is entitled to an evidentiary hearing for bond reconsideration due to changes in circumstances and the emergence of additional evidence not previously considered by either this court or the predecessor judge. As this honorable court noted at the author hearing on May 6, 2025, prior counsel for Mr. Dimmons failed to present any relevant evidence to compel the court to reconsider the denial of bond. To determine whether to grant pretrial release, the court must consider the criteria provided under Florida statutes, the nature and circumstances of the offense charge, the weight of the evidence against the defendant's flight risk, and the nature of the probability of danger which the defendant's release possess to the community. Then he goes on to say the court can also rely on any other facts it considers relevant under Florida statutes. Then it goes on to say Mr. Dimmons is a lifelong resident of Florida and has significant ties to the community. Mr. Dimmons has a strong network of support, including his immediate family and friends. Yeah, so I think it's going to be either new ballistics. Like, there's another ballistics expert that could have been up in there. You know what I mean? Like, oh, wait. Or a report from the medical examiner's office that actually should have been considered. Or really what I believe. There's another statement, another person who was not talked to, was not spoken with, who had a whole entire version of events that was completely different, and their statements are going to be one that can let him go. Now, do I believe that it's Brady? You know what I'm saying? That it's Brady material? I don't. But we can tell that the police officers were not thorough. And this is one of the things that I completely disagree with when we have all of these police experts come in and say all this BS and try to paint an illustration that they know they didn't thoroughly do. We had people texting. We had people make messages on Instagram, through phone messages, through all of this crap that they decided, meaning the police decided, we're not even going to investigate that. Now, obviously, I ain't talked to Jordan. I ain't talked to Kerry. I wouldn't want to anyways, unless we're going to sit down for an interview, but we wouldn't even talk about this case. I try to tap into the mind of what they actually think and how they think. But Kerry is a monster. And I'm going to tell you guys this. If she wins this case, because, yeah, Drew is on the freaking case, but Drew is Captain America searching for the Avengers. She has something. Don't believe this shit is a smokescreen. Don't believe anything like that to that effect. They should have been able to, quote unquote, walk through this shit quick as hell and win this case because the police didn't give a damn. The police only give a damn now because the national spotlight is on it. Some can disagree, some will disagree, and I can understand why you would. And that doesn't necessarily mean YNW Melly is guilty. I don't know. I know there's a stigma from a grieving parent who says whatever the hell they want to say. That's fair for them to say. But it's certain things that they say where I'm like, bruh, you obviously, never mind. I ain't finna do all that. But I believe it's a statement. Now, could it be ballistics? Nash, why would you say it could be ballistics, though? Like, bro, you need to break that down for me. Because when talking about the plume effect, right? Whenever a car is involved in a shooting, to further bolster that case, they go ahead, they shine that light in there, they put whatever special shit they need to put on there, and then they figure out the plume effect, if it exists or if it doesn't. Ergo, going back to the YSL trial, right? One of the reasons why Shed and Jackson still will bump is why he wasn't convicted of the shooting of, I can't think of the young dude's name, at the light, was because there was nothing there. There's no material you could use to wipe the damn car off, so it wasn't as though they got rid of it. So with YNW Melly and all of these things going on in effect, that could be it. I believe that could be something that basically is what it is. Because what if there's two forms? Never mind. That'd be terrible. I ain't finna do all that. But the other thing is DNA. What if there's other blood that's included within that? What if there's other things, other hairs, all of this shit and everything that's included within that? Then we can't have Sack Chaser. Then we can't have Bortland in there and Melly in there by themselves. Now, some of y'all are probably going, the reconstruction of the whole entire thing could be off. Or cell phone shit. I don't know. It's all speculatory right now. But Nash, do you believe that YNW Melly's going to get that? I do. And I'm going to tell you why. Matter of fact, I know he will, as far as an evidentiary hearing. Because that judge had pointed it out. And I'm not saying he believes whatever, but he did have a bit of heart for Melly. Like, damn, youngin', you've been sitting here and you ain't even been convicted. Almost 8 years of your life gone. You almost been sitting in this thing a decade. And it's clear that he's not trying to be manipulated by the prosecution because the prosecution was able to manipulate the other judge. But hey, y'all let me know what y'all think. Like, what do you think the actual stuff is? Because they ain't blowing no damn smoke screen. And I know the DA's office got to be scrambling like hell. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know. Tiger Woods, click right here, man. He got caught with some shit, but he didn't get caught with some shit. What the hell are you talking about? Click right here to find out all about that. And click right here for the playlist, and I'll catch you on the next one.